diving in this area. I was out here diving recently and had no trouble at all, and you can find crayfish in a very short period of time, or fishing. Fishing around this small island just off the coloured t-shirt on, maroon coloured t-shirt, the video camera is funny written on the camera. Well, there's a reasonable chance you might just get a few drops of salt spray coming in your direction this time, so again, forewarned and foretold. And here's a slightly steeper one, just hold on everyone. You're enjoying that, aren't you? Well, make the most of it, it's going to all finish. Unfortunately for us, it would appear that the blinds are drawn, indicating that there's nobody at home, indicating there's not much chance that she'll be up the veranda practicing for us to hear.
Je commence à en avoir marre de ta manière de te tenir. Je te fous une trempe de t'apprendre à te tenir.
Mais c'est rien.
Si, c'est désagréable.
Mais personne ne
Ça fait mal élevé. Si moi je le vois, les autres le voient.
Stopped here for a little lunch. There's the boat in the background. High Bay. I've climbed to the top of the Lookout Hill over High Bay.
The little canoes coming back too.
Yes.
Kayaks. just trailing back.
That's great.
Where did they go? Just along the coast?
I think they went just round the corner. I saw them.
You made it.
They're distant relatives of my
I see.
stepfather. I've been on business several times in South America. And on one
So how long
occasion,
you
and this I'm really but it posed this question.
I like it more remote. I moved out to the little town in 1976. There was not little,
what is a little town?
14,000 people, which isn't little, but now there's 140,000.
About halfway down the hill, heading back to the boat.
But the rocks are made up out of thousands of small vertical columns, as you can probably see just off to our left. All of the columns are formed during the cooling process of the lava. The long green leaf plant that we can see growing on top of those rocks is flax, a local material that the Maori people especially used extensively in their time. And often we see small welcome swallows flying around as well, right across the Tasman just over 50 years ago. There's one in front of us to our left now. Southern black-backed gull have quite a distinctive cry. It's that long, prolonged squawk you can now hear calling out. But just go straight down to the ocean floor. We still have over 70 feet of water underneath us. Just go straight down. Any of you that are anywhere near the bow of the vessel, by looking over your right-hand shoulders, will shortly see a small tunnel that runs right the way through to the other side. But we still have over 70 feet of water underneath us, everyone. But here's the comforting thought for you. If Tiger 3 was to sink, now, stern first, there'd just be enough room on the bow of the boat for one person to stand and hit it on the surface of the sea. That'd be me. Kind of talk about this, that, and the other thing as well, while you're waiting for the flight box to arrive.
These people get their mail and supplies delivered to them in a plastic bucket, which is sent by our boat on a wire.
The longest legs gets to come out, find out what's in the bucket. Well, there we go. I'm sure that's made their day. We actually get well looked after by the kids.
I've taken this little gravel road from Russell on the road back to Whangarei. It's Tuesday morning, 6-hour drive to Rotorua ahead of me. Nice Pacific Ocean beach. From this lookout, Looks like another one-lane road up ahead. After a long, grueling drive, we've come all the way from the Bay of Islands down to Rotorua, the thermal area. This is Lake Rotorua. Looks like a regular lake, but it's a volcanic product. Nice lakefront park here. I've been hiking along the trail here of the lake. They have a lot of private beaches. It can be enjoyed. Sure is nice to see some blue sky again after 3 cloudy days in the Bay of Islands. The trail is just a few steps away from the lake. And look what I've discovered here on the lake shore, a golf course. I don't think I saw this one in my guidebook, but it's right here on the lake. Seems very scenic. Someone teeing off. Looks like we just missed the sunset here on the lake. There's the town of Rotorua across the lake. I've walked all the way to the other side. I've arrived back at the government gardens. It's getting a little dark now. Might not get a good view of the gardens. Well, hopefully we'll have a chance to come back here tomorrow. It looks like a very nice garden. Here in the twilight, you probably can't see the photos or the video very well, but they've got various flowers of different colors all along this path here at the government gardens. Street lights are coming on. Evening in New Zealand. This is our first look at some thermal activity from the Polynesian pools across the way, across this cricket field. I think this is cricket or, yeah, cricket club. This is the clubhouse for the Rotorua Cricket Club. No, croquet, huh. I stand corrected. Well, I guess they must like croquet over here. This is a beautiful clubhouse. Well, actually, this is not the, the clubhouse for the cricket club. It's the Rotorua Museum. I thought it looked a little bit too nice to be a sports clubhouse. Another view of the museum from, and looking across to the croquet fields. I hope you can see this. It's really getting dark. -212 in this thermal pit. Rachel Springs it's called. Sure, on the camera it's just going to look like a bunch of smoke. They really have some fine flower gardens here in Rotorua. All lining these croquet or cricket fields. I could put a golf ball on this surface, very smooth. The entire town has a smell of sulfur. I remember when you used to go through New Jersey, there'd be a sulfur smell. That was awful. This is similar, but considerably more pleasant for some reason. Only a couple of bubbling areas, thermal areas out here in the public part of the town. The more impressive ones, which we'll see tomorrow, I guess you have to pay to get in and have a look at. Beautifully landscaped gardens and hedges all over this central part of town. Nice clear skies. I might get to see the Southern Cross tonight. We've now made it to the Polynesian pools. First we're going to try the hot springs. There's several different pools with different temperatures, no lights, so it's pretty dark out here. After that dip in the hot springs, now we come back here into the private pool. Pretty crowded at 9:30 in the evening.
Mainly sulfur, isn't it?
This is the Waimangu thermal area, the Devil's Pool. Something's bubbling up down there. These are the devil's ink spots. Boiling water.
Oh well, fair enough.
Well, the wrong time of sun here.
The dark color brown is caused by graphite and crude oil.
The champagne pools from a distance. This is the artist's palette. Very impressive. I hope this video is well. There's a campground near here where you can pitch a tent and sleep on a naturally heated surface. There's thermal activity right underneath the campground, so you sleep in your tent and enjoy all the comforts of a nice natural heated surface. Well, I don't know how well this is going to video, but it sure is pretty. Large crowd here at the Lady Knox Geyser, which will be erupting at 10:15, just a few minutes away.
World that has natural geysers. Other countries are Iceland, where the word geyser derives, Yellowstone National Park, of course, in the States, Eastern Russia, high altitude Chile, Beppu City, Japan, which is Rotorua's sister city, and there's also an island off Italy. Okay, so all these places, apart from New Zealand, have natural geysers. The Lady Knox geyser here, she's about 150 years old. She was discovered a century ago, 1896, by a group of prison labourers who were sort of employed back then to plant the original pine forests in Rotorua and surrounding districts, who at that stage wasn't much like a geyser, more like a hot pool or a hot spring. Okay, if you can imagine in your mind's eye a natural spa, that's more or less what she was like. She was about so high at that stage, with a raised cinder edge around it keeping the water in. After a few minutes of lathering up, the prisoners probably got a bit of a fright with their clothes going all over the bush, naked buttocks chasing them everywhere. Imagine that in your mind's eye. So what I'm hopefully going to do for you today, folks, is recreate for you what those guys would have seen back then. And to help that recreation along, what I put in there a minute or so ago was about 1.5 kilos of pure soap. Okay. The initial eruption has an average height of about 20 metres, although that may vary from day to day depending on our water table. Okay, and the activity that follows will last from 45 minutes to an hour. If I didn't soak the geyser, folks, she would still erupt of her own accord, but in a time span of between 24 and 72 hours, any time of the day or night. So I thank you all very much for turning up, otherwise I'll be talking to myself. Where I'm standing at the moment, I'm on the lid of a cabin that contains up to 30,000 litres of water. The water is boiling, comes out boiling, but once it hits the atmosphere and reaches its maximum height, it cools down quite rapidly. To my left, about 20 metres down, there are 2 extinct cones there, more plainly visible to this side of the arena. And to a further 300 metres down, we've counted 25 extinct geysers so far. Now, the geyser here, she was officially named back in 1903 after Lady Constance Knox, whose father